Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to talk about today is what people are seeing and experiencing in everyday life when it comes to being of the prepared mind. And I get sent emails and pictures and videos. And if you would like to do so, my email's in the description box below. So this first email comes in from a community member, and she said, I find this very interesting. My husband worked for a company and was laid off in 2008. While working for the company, there was a pension plan. He tried to cash it out in 2009 and was denied because it was over $5,000. This was when the Great Recession was starting, and we desperately needed the money like everyone else at the time. When he started his job 12 years ago, he tried to see if he could roll it over to his current 401k plan with the company. He was denied again. The former company refused to let him roll it over. Today, now all of a sudden, in the mail, received a card from the former employee. They are going to have a limited offer starting August 1st through September 15th to either get a lump sum of the entire value or monthly annuity payments. I see this as a huge red flag of what is coming. You are absolutely correct. It just does not make sense of why all of a sudden, all these years later, now he can have it? What's really going on? No kidding. So here's an email from a community member, and she said that a community member family needs help. Okay, what's going on? She said, it's been a while since I messaged you last, and I apologize for that. That's okay, no worries. She said, I'm the Canadian farmer who messaged you in the past. Yes, I remember you. She said, I have a friend whose family has become homeless due to their basement apartment flooding with raw sewage. Oh, dear Lord. Kids ages 5 and 3. Mother is deaf in one ear, and they have a family dog for protection. They do not have renter's insurance. Oh, no. I have given them many supplies, food, water, kids' toys, bedding, etc. to help them transition easier into being homeless. The kids are now sleeping at the mother's maternal grandparents' home. Mother and father are forced to sleep in a tent in the backyard. I have helped babysit the kids while they deal with paperwork, lawyers, police, etc. I'm trying my best during farm season to be there for them, but I have conflicting feelings towards the situation. Okay. Now I understand they have gone through something very traumatic. Having raw sewage, repeating flooding in your apartment is traumatic enough. Yeah, no kidding. Having a landlord that refuses to fix the problem is even more traumatic. Oh, that's lawsuit. That's what that is. Listening to a friend from high school break down on the phone is difficult. Been there, done that. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn syndrome is real. And they, as parents, choose to freeze and fawn. They wanted to stay to clean up the mess again. Oh, no, it's not their problem. It's not their problem. It's the landlord's problem. Okay? They need to understand that. I insisted that the amount that was backflowing through the pipes was too much for them to handle, and I demanded that the mother pass the phone to her partner. I told the father to gather everything for 48 hours needed for every person in the family, including the dog. I told him to grab all the paperwork in the house and evacuate immediately. Yeah, because that's toxic. That's what that is. The mother had a mental breakdown and could barely help the dad pack up. As they now live in a tent in the backyard of the grandmother's home, I cannot help but wonder, what can I do to help? Thus, I bring supplies, legal advice, and help babysit at times. The father is a product of the CPS system. So he's, yeah. Mother has 2 dysfunctional parents. It's just me and the mother's grandparents trying to help. I fear the extended family is trying to use the situation to insert their opinions on the husband and advocate for a divorce. No, that's even more toxicity. I said to ignore them. Yeah, absolutely. The children are traumatized enough at the moment, and a divorce at this time would be catastrophic. Both of the parents don't want a divorce. That's just the extended family's opinions. Well, the extended family, they're not in the marriage. They have no right to put their opinions into anything. This is why they cannot sleep in the house, only the children can. Are you kidding me? So they would rather their relatives be in a tent in the backyard and freeze to death because of their own opinion? For the love of God. My own husband will not allow me to invite them over to stay with us. We have a very small home and don't want people to see us in our preps. Well, that's understandable. But then on the other hand, it's kind of like, you know, this is someone, you know, their health, their well-being, their everything, you know. I have asked 2 local community organizations to help. They both passed the buck to other organizations an hour away. When the parents contact the organizations an hour away, they get told their hands are tied and cannot help. Well, that's because a lot of them are losing their funding. That's why. I want to do more for them, but are unsure how. The government doesn't care about poor people. The community doesn't care about poor people. I myself, as a poor person, am stuck trying to be the main person trying to help, even though I'm 30 minutes away from the family. What do I do next? Or leave them to figure it out? It's been 1 week since I convinced them to evacuate. Thank you for your time and energy. Okay, being as though I'm not in Canada, I looked up, you know, what resources there are. There is a website to go to. It's called homelesshub.ca, and there is a link to go to once you get there, and it's called Housing First. This section is a starting point for those wanting to learn about Housing First. They address definitions, statistics, common myths, and questions. Housing First, and I'm reading right from the website here, is an approach to ending homelessness that centers on moving people experiencing homelessness to independent and permanent housing as a first step. It provides people with immediate access to permanent housing with no housing readiness or compliance requirements. It's a recovery-oriented and centers on consumer choice, self-determination, and community integration. It is a rights-based intervention rooted in the philosophy that all people deserve housing and that adequate housing is a precondition for recovery. The approach affirms that stable housing is a primary need and that issues such as addictions or mental health can be better addressed once this is fulfilled. And this is pretty much, you know, like if you have kids and stuff like that. So this is, I think, a really good way to start. And also, there's also something called Reaching Home, Canada's Homelessness Strategy. It's a community-based program aimed at preventing and reducing homelessness across Canada. The program provides funding to urban, Indigenous, rural, and remote communities to help them address their local homelessness needs. So that's maybe 2 different things that you can look into, okay? All right, so here's another email from a community member. She said, I've always kept bacon drippings for cooking. Me too. She said, especially with hash browns. Oh, I love my eggs and pancakes too with it. She said, but now the bacon grease doesn't solidify. I've left it in a cup for 48 hours to see if anything happens. It's still runny. Has anyone else noticed this? Yes, it really all depends like on the humidity in your home and stuff like that. She said, I'm assuming there's something added to the bacon now that we're not told, or as always, maybe it's just me. No, it's not that. It has to do with like, you know, the temperature in your home. If it's not kept in a very cool, dark place. It's also happening with my coconut oil. That thing never solidifies anymore. But then again, you know, outside it's like 115 degrees. I can keep my AC at 72 all the time, but you know what? It doesn't go below like 78 in my house. So none of my oils, like my coconut and my bacon grease, they're not solidifying. So that is why that's happening. So, and here's an email from a community member. She said, just the thought of this. I was thinking about baby cereal with rice and other baby items that contain rice. I was also thinking about everything that contains rice, like sides, rice cakes, etc. Would it be a good idea to stock up on these things too? Yes, you are absolutely correct. It would be a very good idea to stock up on those items. So here is an email with some pictures from a community member. She said, "Oh my goodness, what a blessing. I'm chasing my tail." This year's garden has done so well. I'm not even halfway through the canning season. Everything is coming in at the same time now. So I'm burning the candle at both ends, but I'm not going to slow down. That's awesome. So here's an email from a community member along with some pictures. She said, "Good morning. Mama and I went to a small town yesterday to get out and about, and we came across a small thrift store. It was quaint and fun-filled thrift store. I went over to the children's section, as I always do, to see if I can find older interactive toys and great books. I did find an awesome little book section, all free, limit 3 per child. I was a little sad because my granddaughter wasn't with me. But lo and behold, I asked if it mattered, and it did not. Yay. So I got 3 free books. One struck my attention because I am an avid cook, baker, and canner. And so on and so on. I got the Storybook Cookbook by Carol McGregor, researched and was a valuable find. Point, look in free bins or anything you may be able to get for free. Sending what it's going to be for an inspiration to get free stuff. God is good all the time." So here is her pictures that she sent of the book. So where you can find it looks like Amazon and thriftbooks.com as well. So I always buy my books from Thrift Books. So thank you very much for sending this in. It looks like a great book. So here's an email from a community member along with the picture. She said, "I don't know how to spell." That's okay. She said, "The vine has taken over a giant bush and is clinging to a pecan tree on one side and oak on the other. I just let it because I always get a lot of the green scuppernog. Okay. The lady storm and all the rain knocks them onto the ground, but I still have numerous fruit. The frost got the fig trees, but they came back and have green figs about to get ripe. Usually already ripe. We had 9 jars of fig preserves last year." Well, that's awesome. And now for a commercial break. So this community member wrote in and she sent a picture too. She said, "My daughter made watermelon candy." That's awesome. Oh my gosh, I love it. So this community member, she wrote in and she left me with a link, and I'm going to put that link in the description box below. And it's about WorldCoin. It's another step to global biometric ID. And this is a quote from the website. And it says, "The goal is simple and modest, to create a system that will eventually freely distribute tokens to all 8 billion people on the planet as a form of universal basic income, or UBI. But because the rise of AI will make it tricky to figure out who is human and who is a digital fake, WorldCoin first needs to create a system that lets people, all people across the globe, prove that they are in fact human beings."
So look at this. You're in London, you're on a business trip, you're staying in Greenwich, and you want to buy some food. So you go into the local Aldi's, like this one, and you think, "I'm going to go in here and buy some food so that I can feed myself." And then you approach the barrier, and look, you can't even get in the shop without having a QR code to scan here, or to scan here, and then you can go and buy things. Now this looks to me like the beginning stages of the digital prison that we keep talking about. What do you think?